Welcome to the Missouri Valley Track and Field Show. I'm your host, Cliff Wiley. Historical myth has it that an explorer by the name of Ponce de Leon searched the New World looking for the fountain of youth. Although he never found that elusive fountain, we have a guy right here in Kansas City who did. We'll talk to him when we return. Hi everyone. The Missouri Valley USA Track and Field Cross Country Championships will take place on October the 11th for youth ages 12 and under, and on November the 14th for youth ages 13 through 19, Open and Masters. Both events will take place at Warner Park in Manhattan, Kansas. For entry information, go to the Missouri Valley Association website. Until then, keep running, and I'll see you at the races. Welcome back to our show. I have with me our special guest, Dr. Alan Poisner, the guy who I said has found the fountain of youth. Doctor, welcome to our show.
Thank you, Cliff.
Doctor, I was only joking about the fountain of youth. You haven't found it, but at 81 years old,
I'm still looking.
You're still looking, and you're still looking good.
Thank you.
Doctor, tell us, what event do you compete in?
My favorite event is the 1,500 meter walk, but I also do the 5,000 and 10,000 meter walk.
Now I understand you've won a number of championships.
I have won at the local, state, national, and international level.
Some of your national championships?
I've competed in the USATF National Masters indoors and outdoors, and at the World Veterans Games in Sacramento in 2011.
And how have you done in those competitions?
Well, I've got golds in all of those competitions.
You've only got a few golds. Tell us about some of them.
Well, goals are goals.
Golds, as in gold medal.
Okay, well, the ultimate, which I really treasure, was in Sacramento in 2011, where it was an international meet, and there were athletes from 46 countries. And most countries outside the United States really work on race walking. And so I had to compete against Russians and Brits and other people, and I beat out a Russian. And what excited me, and I've said before, is I got to stand on the stand when they played the national anthem, and we won the team medal as well.
Well, Doctor, a lot of people would just say, well, I've been there, I've done that, I've won a gold medal in whatever classification that I'm in. What keeps you competing?
Well, what I haven't said is my other goal is to make race walking in Kansas City and around the country a really splendid fitness activity. And so I have been president of my race walking club for 20 years. So I help train them and have events that they enjoy.
Doctor, what do you contribute your continued fitness to?
Well, you can't get it with sitting on a couch. You have to spend a certain day. So at the master's level, you have to avoid injury. So you have to do something, but not too much, and that's kind of how to deal with life. A little bit of stress is okay, too much is no good.
Now I understand you're fighting a little injury thing right now, aren't you?
Well, I have a hairline fracture, which is of my right femur, which is the first thing I've had in 30 years, probably because I had so many national races this summer and a little bit of skeletal osteopenia.
Well,
I shouldn't use that word.
Well, I tell you what, you're a doctor of medicine. I think I just barely got out of 8th grade science, okay? But be that as it may, when you're not injured, what is your normal training regime like?
Well, I exercise on the treadmill or on the track or on the road. Right on this track we are right now, I've exercised many times. It's a 400-meter track, and I will do maybe 4 miles is my average distance on a day. And my average goal is every mile is faster than the preceding mile. So warm-up is really important. You have to avoid injury. And during racing season, I will do some really fast walking. Frequently, I'll use a treadmill, and I have my heart rate meter on because I know where it should be. And I'll put it up as most interval people do, faster than my race pace, but for shorter distances.
Are you looking towards any special competitions in the coming year?
Well, the big competitions are on the odd number years. So we had the National Senior Games this year and the State Games of American Lincoln. I did those too, but those are every 2 years. This coming year, there won't be any of those biggies, but there'll be the usual USATF and other events to do.
And you're looking forward, where is USATF going to be, do you know?
USATF, I think it's going to be in Birmingham, Alabama.
Birmingham, okay.
In the summer, that's not too great, but I was just in Jacksonville, and that was too cool either.
Tell me a little bit about what makes a good race walker.
Well, race walking is really more difficult than running, because I've done running too. There's a lot more upper body activity and flexibility needed. And runners might be surprised to know that the top race walkers are moving their legs just as fast as the top runners. They say that the 20K walkers are moving their legs about as fast as an 800-meter runner. But the reason they don't move along the ground as fast is because they can't leap off the ground. They have to keep one foot on the ground. So to be a good race walker, you have to have mobility, flexibility, strength, and endurance. And flexibility is really important. I wish I had more.
Doctor, what advice would you give to a person who is wanting to get out there and get in a little bit better shape? Can't say they're going to get out and be in the kind of shape that you're in, but wanting to get active. What is race walking something that they might want to take up?
I think so. We have a club of about 50 members, and they all weigh people who can barely make it and people who are really fast. I don't mean barely make it. The people who don't even get in competition. But you don't have to get in competition to be fit, but you have to do something. And if you want to help your cardiovascular system and your heart, you have to walk faster than normal. And we teach technique which helps people do that.
And for our younger viewers in the Missouri Valley Association, what advice would you give to a young athlete?
Well, there's a really void in the number of walkers in this country in the youth divisions. They do have youth divisions, USATF, all the way from 8 all the way on up to 18 before they become open. And they have national competitions. And it really is a bit easier to get to national level in race walking since there aren't so many competitors compared to runners. So just get started. You don't have to compete, but you need a hobby or a fitness thing you can do all your life, and this is one of them.
And although race walking isn't an NCAA event yet, it is an event in the NAIA schools across the country.
That's correct. And if a young runner wants to try race walking, he might have a better chance of getting a scholarship to an NAIA school than to an NCAA school in running because there's less competition. In high schools in Maine, they do have it as part of their state track events. And of course, it's been the Olympics for 100 years, so it's just hasn't picked up in this country. It doesn't lend itself to television viewing, for instance.
Well, that's good information, Doc. I tell you what, you're not drinking from the fountain of youth, but whatever you're drinking, when we leave here, I want you to tell me, okay?
I got you.
Listen, thank you for having us. Thank you for coming on our show.
Cliff,
I'll be looking for you.
you're one of my role models too.
And you're one of my role models, okay?
Thank you.
Until next time, I'll be watching you. Keep running, and I'll see you on the track.